Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your August 1st Supermoon reading for you. But before we dive into this reading, I would like to make the announcement that I'm open to private readings. So if you are interested in a private reading, in a personalized private meditation, or in an animal healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It will also be linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me be seen by the YouTube algorithm gods who are still punishing me for the time I had to take off to take care of my sick family members. So, thank you so much for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. You guys are absolutely amazing. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will also be linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this August 1st supermoon in Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the Two of Pentacles reversed. We can feel very out of balance during this time, kind of overwhelmed, also really berating ourselves for not being able to keep everything going. We're juggling a lot, and it's not meant to go as smoothly as we would like it to. And that's going to be something we're mad at ourselves about. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't. Be kinder to yourself, be gentler with yourself. There's a lot on your plate, and some things are bound to slip. So during this time, just know that you have very high expectations for yourself, and that's fantastic, but it's also rather intense, so just be aware of this. Let's see what spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Here we have relax. It will be so important for you, Scorpio, to relax, to take a deep breath in, exhale, and just let yourself focus on yourself. Not in a selfish way. You're not being selfish. You're not being egotistical. It's really saying here, let yourself relax. Let yourself do peaceful, joyous things that are right for you, and let that beauty guide you forward. Relaxing is going to be very important. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. Okay. So before we dive into the tarot, let's look at the astrology of this. So the full moon is at 9 degrees 15 minutes of Aquarius, and a full moon is the moon and the sun opposite each other. So both the moon and the sun play a powerful role. Now the full moon is in Aquarius. This is a supermoon, meaning it's closer to the earth, and it's going to be, by its nature, just more intense. So be aware of this. Aquarius energy is all about community, collaboration, grassroots, growing things from the bottom up. It's about the mind, the intellect, and the innovation. Now, Leo energy is about heart energy, and this is we're in Leo season. This is where the sun is. It's letting our life shine, and it's letting ourselves shine, saying, this is who I am. I let me shine. I'm proud of me. I'm embracing me. So that's going to be very important for us during this time. And Aquarius is about the intellect, the collaboration, connecting. That's going to be very important as well. We're going to see that the head and the heart can be in conflict with each other during this time. It's time to move out of strictly logic based way of seeing things and let our hearts open up. Let ourselves open to our hearts, because we're going to see here very powerfully that love is the most transformative force in the universe. Now we have Chariclo, and I do hope I'm saying that correctly. And in mythology, this is the wife of Chiron in Greek mythology. Now, Chariclo is the largest asteroid in our solar system, and she is conjunct the supermoon. Now, this brings beautiful, beautiful energy for holding sacred space, for embracing silence, okay, and relaxing. I just see it being very quiet. I'm hearing the water. So if you are by the water, getting out, being by the water is very important. And this is also very healing energy. So a time of holding sacred space, of embracing silence, and letting ourselves open up to healing and letting that energy become a part of us. Now, this combined with the Aquarian moon really helps us to focus and to move forward without judgment, to say, okay, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed, this is where I'm going, and without judging ourselves and without judging others. Now, the North Lunar Node is conjunct Eris. Now, Eris is a dwarf planet, and Eris in mythology is the warrior sister of Mars. Eris leads us to truth, to justice, to equality, and leads us to stand in our power. That's going to be very important for us. Now, Mars is conjunct Jupiter, which has us fighting for our beliefs and what is correct. With Eris and Mars coming together, they're kind of the siblings of the warrior siblings, right? And the ones who fight for what they believe is right. Everybody is fighting for what they believe is right. So this can get a little intense during this time. We can find people to be rather opinionated, rather pushy, and people can find us to be rather opinionated and rather pushy. Mars is, oh, I already said that. Mars is conjunct Jupiter. And then Venus is conjunct the Grand Trine, which has visionary, inspirational energy just flowing through it. This is going to be a visionary moon. And this time goes from full moon to full moon. So it's actually from supermoon to supermoon. And this is on the 1st of August and also on the 30th of August. We have on the 30th of August, we have a supermoon and we have a blue moon. So it's really quite intense. Now, Saturn is conjunct Mercury. This helps us focus our mind and stay on track. This is going to be very good energy for getting things done and moving forward in a timely, proper manner. Uranus is squared Venus. Now, this gets a little tricky. If you're in a relationship, okay, this can have us being a little bit restless, wanting more freedom, wanting more independence, really wanting to branch out on our own. Now, if we're not in a relationship, all right, this brings somebody into our lives like completely out of the blue, like completely out of the blue, very different backstory from our own, very different from us. So this is just going to be interesting. It's like, okay, well, how does this intertwine with my life? But financially, with Uranus squared Venus, it can bring volatility. So just be aware of this. Now, Jupiter is squared the sun and the moon. This makes things much bigger, much more dramatic, which can be a good thing, also can be a little bit exasperating. So just be aware of this. And this has us leaving behind complexity and coming back down to earth because Jupiter is in Taurus energy. We do have that Taurus energy here reversed. Now, Taurus is our sister sign, Scorpio. So a Taurus energy can be our best friends. We can find that we just mesh so well with Taurians, or we can find that, like a sister, they can bring out the worst in us. So they can bring out the worst or the best in us. Just be aware of that energy here. Be aware that things can get, it's a little complex, and it's a sense of, I almost see I almost see it like we're more in our mind right now. We're more in our thoughts. How do I move forward? How do I get to where I want to be? How do I embrace what I desire? And this Taurus energy wants to bring us down to earth and say, okay, let's start it. Let's start it. Let's plant these seeds. Let's move forward type of thing. And we can really be resisting that for one reason or another. There's going to be something here which has us come out of that resistance. I don't know exactly how it works or why it works, but it just does. And it's just going to be that little bit of conflict that we get kind of annoyed at. And all of a sudden, we start bringing things back down to earth for us. Now, the Page of Wands is reversed, and that's crowning this whole entire reading. The Page of Wands has us getting messages from Spirit, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe. Are we going to be really receptive to them? No, we're not. We're going to kind of be in our own thoughts, in our own head, having a way of seeing things that we think, oh, it should be like this. So we're coming to things with, as humans do, with preconceived notions, preconceived ideas. That's fine. That's great. But Spirit is going to be pulling us in a very different direction, moving us forward in a very different way. So just be aware of this during this time. With the sun's light reflected off of the moon. Now, the sun and the moon are Leo and Aquarius are also sister signs. So this can bring out the worst in each other. This can bring out the best in each other. But we're going to be learning a lot, and we're going to be resistant to that learning because we're really moving forward here kind of as a powerhouse and thinking, I have it all under control. I really do know. And what Spirit is saying here is like, no, we have a lot that's going to be coming forward and going to be teaching us, learning. I was going to say learning us, but yeah, having us learn, having us, kind of branch out in ways that we hadn't expected. There's also a need to connect with the sacred feminine energy. That's going to be very important to us. Get in touch with how we perceive the sacred feminine, or even if you need to look it up, like what is the sacred feminine? It's a sense of nurturing, yes, caring, compassion, but it's also fierceness. It's strength, it's durability, it's power. So here we're going to be seeing what our perception of sacred feminine energy is. And then how is that limiting us? Or how are we not stepping into what we want in sacred feminine energy? It moves us to judgment. Now, judgment here is really rather different. This is the sleepers. Now, in Celtic mythology, this is in Welsh mythology, the mythology also of King Arthur. These are the knights of King Arthur that were put to sleep when Arthur was wounded and he was taken to the Isle of Avalon, right? And it is said that when Wales is in need, they will rise again and they will protect Wales. So here, it's what this card tells us and what Spirit is saying to us right now is that a part of us is asleep. A part of us is awakening. During this time, we're hearing a call, we're hearing a way forward, we're being inspired, we're looking at things differently, we're opening up doors. And it's like, okay, what does this mean? And it means that a warrior part of us is awakening. A powerful part of us is awakening to take us to that next level. And that's a really big deal. With the Two of Pentacles, it's interesting that we have the Two of Pentacles reversed here in the energy to be mindful of. And then with the Two of Pentacles, it's showing us, okay, you're balancing a lot. You have a lot on your plate. There's trickery around you. Just be aware of that. Emotions are running really high. You respond, Scorpio, to emotions. You can read a room quite well. And that's a brilliant thing about you. It's one of your superpowers. Just know that. It's like, I do this really well. I stand out in this energy. So here with the Two of Pentacles, what we're going to find is that yes, we're balancing a lot, but we're forgetting to balance ourselves. That's why Spirit is saying relax. It's even unwinding at the end of the day, having a cup of tea, sitting down, reading a book, listening to a podcast, or watching television, whatever it is that tickles your fancy. It's embracing that energy as you move forward. There's a sense here of I'm trying to balance everything. I'm trying to see everything. I'm trying to juggle everything. You are trying to do too much for too many people, or you're just trying to do too much for yourself. Spirit is saying here, be kinder to you. Move slowly, move gracefully, move gently as you move forward. With the Magician, you're standing in your power. You're standing before the altar of your existence, saying and claiming who you are and your gifts. For a lot of us Scorpios, we're having a hard time claiming these gifts. I'm hearing late bloomer, late bloomer, late bloomer. So for some of us, we're thinking, I'm too old, right? We're kind of writing ourselves off. And Spirit is saying, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You're blooming into your power. You're embracing what you desire in life. And it might not be in the time frame that we imagine when we're teenagers, and that's okay. We're standing before the altar of our existence. We're claiming our prosperity. We're claiming our heart energy. We're claiming our passion and our ferocity. We're also planting, our bounty into the earth and saying, how do I want things to move forward? What do I want to move forward in my life? And we're also claiming the magic that is us. Again, that fire, that intensity. And so here, it's making a declaration. For some of us, we might be actually making a declaration, saying to ourselves, all right, Scorpio, this is what I'm going to achieve. This is the time frame that I give myself to achieve it in, and I'm claiming my power. For others of us, we're slowly stepping forward and we're saying to ourselves, I can do this. I am meant for more. There is power and there is beauty here. And it brings us to the Queen of Wands. Again, this is fire sign energy. You're very linked to this time frame. Scorpio, this is a big time frame for you, the Leo time frame. And so here you have a new dawn coming. There's also a sense of magic around you. I always see this card as Hecate in Greek mythology, right? The goddess of magic, but also then Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of the hearth, and she's my favorite goddess in Greek mythology because, and I'm just going to tell you the story. I know if you've been here before and you listen, you can fast forward through this, but Hestia is just so beautiful because when the Olympians battled the Titans, there were more goddesses than there were gods when they won. And there had to be an equal number. And there was going to be another great war. After the great war with the Titans, now there was going to be the war with the Olympians. And Hestia was tired of the fighting. And she saw the heartbreak it would bring. And she said, you know what? I'm not going to be a goddess, one of the main goddesses, like Aphrodite and Athena, Artemis. I'm going to step back. And they looked at her and were like, seriously? And she became the goddess of the hearth, worshipped in every single Greek house, and then every single Roman house and the center of the household. So here, there is something in the energy of you don't have to be known by everybody, right? You don't have to be one of the main three, but you are, and Hecate, and what is it? Herod. So Hera. So one of the main four. You are going to be known though. Maybe in a smaller way, maybe in a gentler way, or still in a very powerful way. The hearth was the center of the home. People's beds were around the hearth at wintertime, and it kept away the bugs, in the summer. So it was very important. Cooking the food, very important, but it might not be looked on by everybody else with the same importance. Don't move away from your passion, from your goals, because others might mock or jeer or think you're making a mistake. Listen to your passion, listen to your fire, your intensity. It's really moving you forward. You're also going to see here that you have a very strong link with your sacral chakra. Okay? Your sacral chakra is where your creative energy is stored. It's also where your sensual energy is stored. You're getting in touch with your passion. All right? If you have blockages around your sacral chakra, if you're envisioning orange, like just envision orange, like wrapping itself around you, the orange light, and just see it as orange healing light. And if you're seeing it as like overwhelming, if it's overwhelming for you to do that, if it's, if it's hard even, you can tap your tailbone because tap on either side of your tailbone, like your lower back, right? And just tap with an open fist, just like this, because that's where your vitality center is in Qigong. I do this every day, multiple times a day. And it helps with back pain, but it also helps with creative energy flowing forward, with your sensual energy flowing forward, keeping you in alignment with your life energy, your life force. So that can be very, very, very important. You're also moving forward in the power of your voice. There is something here where our voice was diminished. Now we're moving forward in the power of our voice. And that can be us also connecting with our throat chakra. That can be very important. Now, with the Hierophant reversed, here it's Taliesin reversed. And in Celtic mythology, Taliesin is like the be all end all, right? He is the bard of all bards. He is talent. He is, everything you would ever want to be. And this is reversed. So we can feel like we're not living up to those expectations. We can also feel like, I said my dreams to too many people and I haven't accomplished it, so I have to hide away. And Spirit's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You have everything around you. You have the harp. You have, you even have the wings to let you fly here. You have the gold, the chalice, the prosperity. There, there is a sense of I have to give myself permission to embrace my voice and my talent, which we can also be finding that what we said we wanted and what we have been going after is not in alignment with what our spirit really wants. And so our quote unquote failures is actually spirit keeping us out of a situation where we won't be happy. So just be aware of this. Just be aware that sometimes when we think we know best and we don't step back and say, okay, well, how is the door going to actually open? How am I going to embrace this? It can be overwhelming for us because we can feel like a failure and we're really not. We're really not. But we can also be having a bit of trouble with authority. We don't want to be told what to do during this time from full moon to full moon, so pretty much for the month of August. We don't want to be told what to do. We want to express ourselves the way that we want to express ourselves. And we're finding that. We're going to stumble. We're going to feel, I'm just seeing, puppies with the really long ears that, trip themselves up, or toddlers when they're learning how to walk and they tuttle, 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 and then they tumble down. So just know that here, where we're feeling like, I don't get this. You have to get your sea legs. You have to get used to it. And then it will really come to you in a brilliant, beautiful way. Now, with the Page of Pentacles, we are very resistant to being a student on this earthly plane, which you can say like, oh, well, where else would I be a student? But we can be spiritual students. We're more open to being spiritual students here, Scorpio, than we are to being earthly students, to being told what to think or what to do or how to react to things. So just know that about ourselves. It's going to be very important where we can be like, well, who are you to tell me what to do? Just know that that's our resistance coming forward. We have the fire sign energy here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the earth sign energy here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And just remember, Taurus energy, it's linked with Jupiter, excuse me, which enhances it, brings forward our greatness, but it's saying to us, leave behind the complexity and come back down to earth. And that's going to be a little bit hard for us. We want things to be, we're making things a little bit more complex than they have to be. And we want things to be a little bit more complex than they have to be. It's leave this behind, come back down to earth. Be a student of the seeds that you want to plant. You're actually going to be really reevaluating things here, Scorpio, wherever Scorpio lies in your chart, because I'm really hearing here that somebody is watching this and you're kind of watching it for somebody else. You're like, oh, well, what is this going to say for them? You have Scorpio in your chart, and where it is placed in your chart, Spirit is like, pay attention to that area. Pay attention to that area because you're planting seeds and you don't even realize it yet. And you're going to be moving forward, but you're going to have to kind of swivel a little bit. It's like, oh, I thought it was going to be like this. It's going to change. It's not bad. It's just going to be different. And for those of us who are Scorpios, sun, moon, and ascendant, the same applies. It's going to be different than we had thought, but we are resistant to the knowledge that's coming forward. We're also resistant to the information that's coming within our dreams. So just remember this. Remember this during this time, that we need to connect with our heart. Yeah, we need to connect with our heart in a very real way, but also what roots us, what's super important to us. So being aware of that is going to be a very, very powerful thing for us. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Yeah, Taurus energy, very strong Taurus energy in this reading. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, goodness, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. So it's really interesting. We start off with focusing of the opening of our third eye, really connecting with that energy, with that insight up for ourselves. I love that this has the butterfly over the third eye, and then this here, purple violet color, is linked with the third eye. So we're going to see that really coming forward for us during this time. This is the new moon in Aquarius. Here, of course, we're in the full moon in Aquarius, but strong Aquarius energy is leading us forward. It says, bring love into the situation. Scorpio, walk in love. If you can chant love, love, love around you, kind of that Beatles song, All You Need Is Love, that would be the most important thing. Yes, you can't change everything with love, okay? But my gosh, is it a great place to start? It is. It is a great place to start. So start with opening up of the third eye. There's a sense of like a freedom, like butterflies just flying around you. And you'll actually find that butterflies fly around you. They're going to kind of greet you at the door, fly off the flowers, come to the windowsill type of thing. Just be aware of that. Surrender. We're having a hard time surrendering, but know you and your loved ones are safe to the awakening that is inside all of you. But we're having a hard time surrendering to this awakening, knowing that we are moving forward in a new way, but also surrendering to the power of this moon, to the insight that is guiding us. This is a time of beginnings. This is a time of, walking through that portal. And I love here that it's winter walking into spring, because the Roman god Janus is where we get the word January from. And January and Janus was the god of portals, and so here of new beginnings. So here we have that sense of we're walking through that portal, and we're even going to see what we walk through now as we get things in balance, as we calm things. We know that there are going to be two main things that are going to rile us up during this time. Again, from the 1st of August to the 30th of August, two things really stir us up, really get us riled up. And it says here, step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone because you're stepping into new beginnings. And that North lunar node is conjunct Eris, and here it's the North node, the North lunar node. So that stepping out of our comfort zone is conjunct the dwarf planet Eris, which is having us move and lead towards our truth and our justice and equality for us, and really standing in our power. We're claiming our power for some of us for the first time, in what seems forever. Here we have discernment. When we stand before the altar of our existence, we become very discerning, and we need to become very discerning of the energy that we're letting into our lives, of the people we're letting into our lives. Prosperity lies ahead, but if we're not discerning, we are going to be taken off track. So just be aware of this, Scorpio. It's very interesting because we have the beautiful power of the Queen of Wands, and we had here, where's that? Yeah, we had here the rabbit reversed, and that's a sign of the goddess. And here we have the masculine reverse. So we can just feel out of balance, which is what we can also be being told by the Two of Pentacles. We can just feel out of balance with ourselves, connecting with sacred masculine energy, what sacred masculine energy means to us. It's not toxic masculinity, just like sacred feminine energy isn't toxic femininity. What it is embracing the power of us and the nurturing of us, the creating and the thinking, and having that move forward. So here, where it says your dreams need a practical plan, we need to embrace kind of that masculine energy of the thinking, and not just it's putting into motion what you have created within your soul. And that's going to be something that's just a little bit tricky for us during this time, because I'm seeing this as a seed, right? The sacred feminine energy as a seed to be planted in the earth. And this is the plow. And it takes a while to figure out how to use a plow because they're hard, especially those old ones that were pulled by oxen. That's a talent right there. Gratitude. Embrace gratitude. Here, you are good enough. You are connecting during this time, Scorpio, with your sacred ancestors. You really are, with those who have passed, who love you, who cherish you. That's why Spirit is calling them sacred ancestors. They're the people that want to see you achieving and succeeding. We have ancestors who, might not be as involved with us as others are, but also within our own soul and our own self. We need to move forward in gratitude, in the cycle that that is life. The maiden, the mother, the matriarch, even if we're not the mother, right? I know that could be a little triggering for certain people, but it is the maiden, and then it is the nurturer, okay? And then it is, the wise person. And that also is true for men. It is, the boy, and then it is the doer, the actor, again, the wise person. Well, not the wise person, because the wise person is the elder, but it is accumulating that wisdom. It is learning. It is going out there, it is doing, it is protecting. And it's having gratitude for those different stages in our lives, especially in a world and a culture that doesn't honor them the way that they should. What we're looking at here is that you are enough. Why we're pushing away the kind of archetype of Taliesin is because we don't feel like we can be that. We don't feel like we are good enough to embrace that prosperity, to embrace that bounty, to claim that power. And that can also be why we're rebelling against authority, because we're not being our own authority, which is where we want to stand. We're letting other people tell us what to do, and it's not ringing true with our soul. So just be aware of this. Bringing balance back into the situation is going to be super important. And that's going to be what this moon does. It brings us into balance with ourselves, and it has us surrendering to the divine, really saying, you know what, there's a bigger force in this universe than me, and I'm connecting with it. What does that mean? What does it mean to connect to the divine and to move us forward in that divine connection? Our subconscious spirit message, or message to be mindful of here, is the Seven of Pentacles. I always see this, and I know the depiction of this is holly growing on the tree, which is a sacred, plant. But vines growing on a tree kill the plant. That is why vines, holly, ivy, they were considered more powerful than an oak, because they could fell an oak. So just be aware of this. This is being mindful that with the Seven of Pentacles reverse, that what we there is something that we have been planting, that we have been moving towards, that we have been, looking for, that it isn't right for us. It's actually harming us. So just be aware of this. And it's going to kind of be like, but I've been patiently waiting. It's like, yeah, okay, we've been patiently waiting, but it's not right. And it's going to take power to kind of just step back. And you're going to know it because it's going to aggravate you. There's something here where it gets that liver energy going. It gets us kind of riled up. And it also connects with the heart. The heart is going to know, that it is out of balance with us, but we're going to kind of not want to listen to our heart. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious spirit message is wish. What are you wishing for? Subconsciously, we're being moved forward by spirit, by our wishes, by our desires, what we really hope for, what we're really looking for in our life. It moves us then to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Queen of Cups, and that's us. We're represented by the cup Scorpio in the major arcana, moving forward in love, moving forward in healing, but also knowing that we feel the emotions of others. Empathic energy can be quite strong here. And it can also be that we've kind of turned that part off of us. We can say, oh no, I'm not empathic. I don't have that connection. And spirit's like, oh no, you are. But when you were very young, you found it very overwhelming. So just know that we need to connect with our heart. We need to listen to our intuition. We need to find a way to move ourselves forward. So there's going to be something here that is opening up the door to us, that is having us look at things in a very different way. But opening up our heart, connecting with that sacred feminine energy, and also knowing that love and the heart, that's power. There's something here about, oh no, it's being weakness, or it's weakness. It's not. It's not at all. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious Luna message. It's a time to take action. We're all there for taking action, but creation is reversed. We can feel like it's not time to create, or we don't know how to create, cultivate, really move forward in what we want, or how we want things. So just be aware of this during this time where it is time to create, but we're afraid of our own creation. We're afraid of how we're going to lead things forward. We're afraid of what's going to open up during this time. So just be aware subconsciously, we're all ready to act, but we're afraid to upset the apple cart. We're afraid to kind of step out of line, even though we don't like being told what to do. All right. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and intensity of this beautiful supermoon in Aquarius. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.